My sole issue is protecting as many people as I can. That's what I want to do. I know, it may come at an inconvenience to you, but I like to follow the wishes of the complaining witnesses because I don't want them to live in fear. There's nothing worse than having to live in fear, having to walk on eggshells, and that's what we try to prevent here. And I know that you have your side of the story, and there's always two sides of the story, but the best recipe that I usually find is keeping people away from themselves. The problem is that may be a disadvantage of you because you may have nowhere else to go. But what other choice do I have? I don't know, right? Tell me, you were able to speak to her.
Yes, Your Honor, and I'll relay the message she gave me. So just a little bit of context, the defendant is her father, is what she says. And she says she's had no contact with him since the incident, but she does say she's been getting updates from family about the defendant that she's not asking for. She said that she's getting married and planning on starting a family, and her heart's desire is to have her father in her life, but she said that he's proven that it cannot happen. She states that she is done with her relationship with the defendant. The defendant has not changed. She wants no contact. She's currently working on making her restraining order permanent. She states that the defendant is not trying to get help. She states that she wants anger management, Alcoholics Anonymous, and Narcotics Anonymous treatment.
So there's drug issues and alcohol issues.
According to the complaining witness, Your Honor, yes. So we know about the situation.
Stop. Don't say anything. Just don't.
And so we know about the situation where he needs some of the items he has at his place. She says that she has them placed in bags. She says that she's either told the family to handle giving the items to the defendant, or she is okay if the defendant comes with officers while she's not present.
So she obviously lives at that house?
Yes, Your Honor.
Who, is it grandfather's house? Whose house?
I'm not sure.
I mean,
I'm told it's a grandpa's house, his father's house. But he'd actually moved in there to help out with his parents and, well, I told you, he strokes at both times. Guys.
yeah, but I can't, she's living there and, it's.
So I'm told that his daughter is a drug user, Judge, and that this happened late at night. In fact, even in the DIMS, it says that this alleged assault.
I can't really.
No, but it says alleged assault happened at 2:30, but we didn't call the police until 4, I believe. And she mentions a long gun, but there was no guns found at the scene.
I don't know. I just don't want you to, she doesn't want to have contact with you. So don't have contact with her. Don't use any drugs. Don't use alcohol, and making that a condition of your bond as well.
It's hate.
I don't know what to tell you, but she lives there. And if I allow you to go back to that house, it's a recipe for disaster.
Judge, he does live with his parents and does nowhere else to stay right now. He's been living at the Star Hope shelter for a week. In fact, they arrested him in his underclothes and he's wearing clothes given to him.
Well, I mean, like you said, he can go back and get the stuff. He's got to go with an officer, and at a time that she's not going to be there. I guess we could work that out.
His ID and cell phone, all that are at the house, and they can't get that.
She has it in bags ready to give to him. You know what? Also do this. Can you, if you want to, we can roll this to tomorrow, but will you also reach out to, I guess, the homeowner and get their opinion? Are they okay with him coming back? Perhaps you can get their side as well and see what they say. So we get like a neutral and detached person to see, is this because he obviously wants to go back to the house? We know that she doesn't, but the problem is that if I let you go back to this house, you will invariably at one point or the other, you're going to run into her, and it's going to be disastrous because it always is. And then you're going to end up back in jail. You're out because we gave you a free bond right now. You need to understand that if you go back, you probably have no one in this world that's going to pony up 5,000 to 10,000 to get you out. You will be stuck like Chuck. You need to consider these things when you're out there. I'm not asking much from you. I just don't want you to have contact with this person, and don't have any weapons, and don't use. That's all I'm asking. You want to roll this tomorrow to see if there is perhaps a way that they could kind of separate, kind of bifurcate the house, so to speak?
Is your father able to answer the call if they call and talk to him?
No,
Well, look, I don't want you guys to talk here. Let's do this. Let's roll it to tomorrow. See, do you mind reaching out? Is there a possible way to kind of divide the house in half or is there like a garage apartment or is there like a shed or something that he could stay at? I don't know, but
that's how I've been living.
You're separate from her.
Yeah, I'm separate from all of them.
We can talk about, he's telling me that he's separate, living away from everybody, his own room, I guess.
I want to hear it from them too.
Sure.
I don't want to hear it just from you. I want to hear it from them that they feel protected. That's my
I
own
understand.
concern,
I understand.
So we can, come back tomorrow because it's already 1 o'clock, right?
What time tomorrow?
Same time, early, 8, 9 o'clock. So,
We'll be here tomorrow.
so guys, this is Mr. O'Neill. So no contact, no weapons, no going to the house for the time being, no drugs, no alcohol, random testing, please. All right, Mr. O'Neill,
Testing.
no drugs, no alcohol, and I'm going to test you to make sure you're not using. If you test positive for drugs or alcohol, I'm going to put you in jail. Don't use. All right.
Damn.
Okay. All right. Good luck, Mr. O'Neill.
Thank you, Judge. My excuse.
Thank you. Yeah. Your device has been dead.
So Judge, I don't think it was low and then it went dead for, I think, a couple of days, but he didn't receive. Well, I understand that, Judge, but he didn't receive, I guess the device supposed to send something.
You know when you're supposed to charge the device. You know.
I think it gives you a notice or something that is dying out. And so it didn't give him notice. So he went to pretrial service to have him check it out to find out what was going on with it. But he's been on bond for a very long period of time with no issues whatsoever.
That doesn't give you the justification to do what you're doing.
Judge, I will say that I've contacted the device people over at 49, whenever he reported yesterday, they stated that.
He only reported yesterday.
Yes, we observed.
Unacceptable. Unacceptable.
Well, no, Judge, he reported because I told him that the device, that this was filed. That's the only reason why he reported over there.
The only reason he cared enough to go was because you told him he had to come to court. Otherwise, it would still be dead. It would still be non-functional.
I don't think that's the case, Judge, because it's been functional the entire time that he's had the device. So this is not he's been out for 2 months and the device has not been functioning. That's not it. This was just filed 2 days ago.
Because I wanted to take care of it now. And the reason is that he's on probation for a violation of protective order, picks up an assault of a pregnant person, and then picks up another assault of the same person. And he has another assault dismissed, and they're all the same person. And I told you that there was no tolerance in these cases. And I have here that you have a dead battery since 2/10 of, how long was the battery dead?
According to the viewer, I believe it started on the 10th, and then whenever he reported for.
Yes, Judge, that's what I'm saying.
Reported for inspection, we found no issues with the device itself or the charger.
That it was
Revoking your bond. Did you go to jail? I'm sorry. Bond conditions, bond conditions. There's no justification, right? 3 open cases. I've repeatedly told you, no tolerance, and you're just doing whatever you want to do. You're not charging it. Goes dead. So does the bond.
Judge, it went dead on the 10th, and he immediately went in to go have it checked out because he
No, he
didn't know.
didn't. No, he didn't. 2 days later, because you said you got to come to court, it's probably a good idea for you to go get it checked out.
That's not how it happened, Judge.
Tell me.
When I got the email, I said, hey, there's an issue possibly with your device. He said, I got no notification whatsoever that it was dead. So I will go down there and check it out to see what's going on. I didn't tell him about a court date because I didn't know about the court date at the time. I got the motion first. Then your letter came after the fact. So he went on his own to have it checked out. So if you look at the records, I mean, he's been out for a while and this just happened. 2 days, that's it, Judge.
They tell you that you're supposed to charge this thing on a daily basis. they tell you that you need to put it by the charger every day for a specific amount of time. And if you don't, the battery goes dead.
Now,
So you know what you're supposed to do.
I understand that, Judge, but also if the court remembers that he is also keeping a newborn baby, so maybe he put it in.
That's,
He was tired. I mean, I
It's-
don't know, Judge,
it's been dead for 2 days.
but it's only been there for one day, I believe, Judge, because he went on the 11th, I believe. Today's the 14th.
No, she said yesterday he went. Today's the 14th. That's the
Today's
13th.
14th, I'm sorry, that was the 12th. I don't know why I thought it was the 13th.
So when did he go?
The 12th.
No, the battery goes dead on the 12th. When did he go to pretrial?
He went to pretrial on the 12th, Judge. His battery went dead on the 10th.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, battery goes dead on the 10th. Goes to pretrial on the 12th. So he's without a device 2 days. I'm sorry. Goes with you. Just not getting it. I don't know what to tell you, Ms. Jewett, right? There's just no justification. I have 4 kids. You know, it'll take me 2 minutes to put them in front of an iPad for me to go do what I need to do, to go wash the dishes, to go take the dog out, to change the litter.
Well, I understand, Judge, but I mean,
There's no excuse. You've got 3 open, very serious cases. And I told him at the outset when he picked up the last violation protective order, there's no talk. I mean, you must comply strictly. And he's just not doing it.
just gonna just reset it for reconsideration on his bond, maybe 2 weeks, a month.
So here's the deal. You were right. These cases are ripe. They're old. And it's time to do something with them because the thing is, and what I've experienced is that when we take too long with cases, something invariably happens. You know, cases should only last so long because certain people need certain things. And when they're not getting it, they tend to fall in familiar habits. So these are too ripe. Let me see how old these are.
And
I
then,
don't
Judge,
even-
I don't, if you remember, this case was actually transferred over to, the,
Irity,
yes,
right. Now I'm gonna keep it now, just because it's, just too much drama. So the violation case is 256 days old. The new violation case is 136 days old. Is discovery complete in both cases, please?
Yes, one from, sorry, last
The
name
newest
is
case is discovery complete.
correct.
yes, and Judge, if you remember, you may not remember, but this is the case where the wife is saying that what occurred is not really what occurred. Remember, this is the toxic case.
And Judge, either way, discovery is complete on the case.
Do you have an offer on these cases?
On the most recent VPO, there is not, let me see if,
Yeah, that's,
Can you please put an offer so we can,
I'll let DVD know that you're requesting that they put an offer on.
Please.
Yes, Judge.
and is there an offer on the felony case?
On the felony case, Your Honor, let me see. There is not, Your Honor.
because the problem, Judge, is they were supposed to be working on the fact that the wife came to court and told the prosecutor she's not participating. So they were gonna reeval. That was 2 months ago.
If I may, they did offer him a 2-year deferred upstairs.
Oh, they did?
Yes, Judge, it's just in the notes, not in the actual, they're having a conversation about going back and forth with the defense attorney on that case
Okay.
to see what they want to do.
So you're set up there 2/28, okay? You want, we can set the day after if you'd like,
That's right.
okay? And then what I would suggest is when we come back, it's, play or trial time. So we can just put these babies to bed once and for all. And perhaps the felony court will, you guys can make a global resolution, I don't know, but it's, if I don't do what I'm doing now, I'm enabling. And I'm saying it's okay for you to do what you're doing without any consequence. And it's not. He has to understand that there's consequence. This is the 4th time, it's over and it's over and it's over. And I can't.
Understood, Judge.
And I understand that you have to zealously advocate, and I'm not begrudging you for doing it, right? Certainly not, of course not. But I can't continue to enable it, So, okay, you got it.
How you doing?
Pretty good. So I've never met you before. I don't know who you are. All I know is that your lawyer is asking me to, I'm assuming, set him a bond, right? You know, you're wanted from somewhere. I don't know for what. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm going to set you bond. I got to get to know you in the short time that I have you here to see, are you a danger to my community? If we give you a bond, are you going to go back? I have no idea. So let's get to know him. Amy?
Judge, so he's wanted from Guadalupe County, New Mexico, aggravated battery against a household member with a deadly weapon. As the court knows, he's also being held in the 351st for credit and debit card abuse.
No, I had no idea. Say it.
And I believe they also just filed a motion to revoke his probation on fraud use.
He's on probation too.
Yes, and they're motioning to revoke as well. He also has 2 bond forfeitures that I'm seeing, and then he has quite a bit of history with burglaries and.
My gosh. Whoa. So since 2007, possession of marijuana, possession of a controlled substance, evading arrest, possession of a controlled substance, felon in possession of a weapon, attempted evading arrest or detention, tampering or fabricating evidence, evading arrest and previous conviction, burglary of a building, possession of a controlled substance, burglary of motor vehicle, evading arrest, credit card abuse, burglary of a motor vehicle, evading credit card abuse, possession with intent to deliver. And 1, 2, 3, 4 more burglary of a motor vehicles, failure to ID, possession of a dangerous drug. You're on probation for a fraud. You pick up a new credit card abuse, and you want me to set you a bond?
Can I please tell you something? If you don't mind me speaking,
Don't talk about the case.
I'm not talking about no case.
Okay.
I was in here, been held on, the case for, defending violence in New Mexico, right? And they just got called ATW twice. They did not release me. I was not released. They sent me back to my cell, and since they didn't release me, they ended up putting a credit card abuse on me. Now, I don't know, where that falls in or whatever, they just put it on me.
So if I can give you a brief synopsis of the timeline, Judge.
Sure.
So January 15th, he waived extradition for his New Mexico case, which is why we have the fugitive. He also had a Dallas County hold at the same time, which means the Dallas.
Here's another.
It's true, but Dallas County had 10 days to pick him up. So they did not pick him up in those 10 days. So let's say January.
I know that. I get it.
Let's just say, okay, so they didn't release the whole, they should have released the whole 25th. They didn't. What they did is instead, 3 days later.
Talking the Dallas County hold.
Dallas County hold. So what should have happened is that on the 25th, they released the Dallas County hold, which at that moment, there was no locals or anything pending, and they should have started the timeline for New Mexico to come pick him up. But instead, Dallas did not release the hold until I believe the 29th, because conveniently, on the 28th, the DA's office filed 2B charges on a credit card abuse from a case that they had had since November. So just,
December. I see here, December 22nd, 2024.
I'm sorry, from December, you're right. So it just seemed like the timeline expired. And I believe Mr. Kimball's just really upset because if it should have worked like it should have worked, then, why didn't they release the hold in time? Why didn't the DA's office file it? It just seems like they're sort of dragging it along. I understand that he does not have a bond on his felony cases, and they did file the MRP. He has an attorney there who is going to be requesting to set a bond there. What Mr. Kimball is asking is a bond here, even though, and I said, he's going to be making the bond there in felony. So let's say his bonds get set in felony and his bond gets set here. He wants to bond out and go to New Mexico, address that case, and then he said he'll be back and forth. He's already got the MRP and the felony credit abuse case here. But he wants to be able to fight them in the free world, and he is willing to go to New Mexico, turn himself in. I've been in contact with his mother. And I guess just because of that lapse in timeline, it's kind of like why we're here, because, in part, if you have anything else to add, I think he just feels kind of screwed by the system on this. Is there anything else, Mr. Kimball, that I missed?
Nah, did she send the video to your phone? Oh, all right.
In 2023 alone, Mr. Kimball, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in one of the misdemeanor cases, you have presumably a bond at 5,010, which tells me that you've taken off on that case as well.
I
You're on
never ran
probation.
bond
You had a hold out of Dallas for, what did he have a hold out of Dallas for?
violation.
Out of Dallas.
You're hopscotching with the states with the criminality,
No,
man.
I got
can't.
on, look, I had all the cases together and they gave me probation in Houston and Dallas. See, that's what you don't know. They dismissed a bunch of them cases has been dismissed. And I've been to trial twice. A bunch of them cases has been expunged on that record right there that you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But they gave me probation in Dallas and Houston. Dallas supposed to transfer my probation to Houston. They did not transfer my probation to Houston. That's how I get a violation in Dallas. I never violated by kissing any new case. Only time I caught a case is when for the New Mexico, say something happened in a family violence 2024. I never even been to New Mexico. The girl wrote a statement on me saying that I violated whatever. I understand. I know I don't supposed to tell you nothing, but I got videos. She's saying everything that she said is a lie. I don't even supposed to be having a case for I wouldn't even supposed to come to jail for that case. She has the videos in her phone. She can show you. She's showing her ID, everything, made in a whole statement saying that everything that she said to me in New Mexico is a lie, bro. I'm just dry getting hold for this case.
We really,
I understand it.
it doesn't matter.
Yes, sir. I understand it.
It seems to me,
Yes, sir.
you get out, you pick up a new case. You were out, you just picked up a new credit card abuse 2 weeks ago. December 22nd, I mean, maybe 3 weeks ago, you just picked up another case. You're on probation in Houston. You're on probation in Dallas.
Sir.
You got an open case in New Mexico.
Yes, sir.
I can't possibly give you a bond, Mr. Kimball. You know, I think that I need to protect my community. And if I give you a bond, I'm scared that something else is going to happen. I don't want you to pick up a 6th or 7th case, you know?
I ain't pick up a case. I came to jail for a case a year ago for New Mexico. I was already on probation.
Picked up.
No, they just put
Credit
a
card.
case on me while I was in
Nah.
custody. I didn't never get caught for anything. They just put a case on me while I've been in custody right now. This time waiting on New Mexico and Dallas to come get me. They just put this case on me. They just put this on me.
I want to make sure that there are no more new cases get on you anymore. I'm not going to give you a bond because, Mr. Kimball, you scare me. You know, you do.
I never had an aggravated case. I never had an aggravated case in my life. You see my record. I never had an aggravated case.
I don't see, the only thing I see
I'm
is
saying
Harris.
everything you're saying. I never had an aggravated case out of Harris County, Dallas, anywhere in Texas, ever. Ever.
I believe you, but it's just way too much baggage, dude. Way too much.
But I'm saying you can't just set a bond on the case. And when I go to court, you know what I'm saying? I talk to my other judge. She give me a bond on them cases or whatever, where I can go handle everything that I need to handle so I can get out and be with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't, so say if they do set the bond when I go to court, because he's going to give me a court date in like a week or two. I'm going to go to court. They're going to set a bond for me. So they set a bond. Now I got to come back to your courtroom again for you to say, oh, well, I'm not going to give you a bond or whatever. They got 14 days to come get me. When actually I really supposed to already been gone to either Dallas or New Mexico because they called me ATW twice and they said they was not going to come get me. And we called to New Mexico. New Mexico said they didn't have any knowledge of me even being in jail on their warrant.
Is New Mexico, have they stated that they're going to come get him?
Our indication at this time is that they want him, Judge.
Okay. They're going to come get you. You know, the problem is that 14 days is told because you've not made bond on those cases upstairs. Once you do make bond at that point, that will get the 14 days for New Mexico to come get you. But Mr. Kimball, you've got a ton of priors. You're on probation in two different counties. You got to, okay, regardless, it's too much baggage. I'm not going to give you a bond. You scare me, dude. That's it. Really. You know, sometimes the bill comes due. Now is that time. It's not going to happen anymore. Okay, thanks.